This is Straight Talk with Abernathy, Greg Penn, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fan, the Preacher Man.
Keith Gamage, your Fulton County Solicitor General.
And I'm Captain Nikki Renfro of the Georgia State Patrol.
Every 51 minutes, someone is killed in an alcohol-related accident.
This holiday, officers will be out looking for unsafe drivers. If you are buzzed, drunk, or impaired, don't drive. Call someone for a ride or we'll be forced to give you one.
Once you're charged with DUI, you can face jail time, license suspension, and a conviction on your criminal record. So this holiday, have fun. Make it a night to remember, not a night to regret.
Well, welcome again to Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fan, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E.Jones. How you doing, Shanan?
I'm doing well, Bishop. How you doing?
Man, I tell you, the weather is out there is frightening.
Let me tell you something.
But it's so delightful.
It's good.
Don't let it snow. Don't let it snow.
Please don't let it feel a lot like Christmas. I tell you,
it really is. And
Shanan, with that,
but you know what? And that, with that being said, I got a Christmas present for you.
Oh my goodness!
I got several.
Oh my goodness!
You love the Falcons, so I want to give you a Falcons cup, and and I want to give you two Falcons cups, okay? And then I want to give you a cup from the SC.
Oh, thank you, Bishop.
And because you need to start exercising, I'm gonna give you a dumbbell.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Bishop. I tell you, you don't have to worry about your enemies. Your friends will get you.
I want you to be fit in the new year. I want you to be fit in the new year. Join me and lose some weight.
Fat is fabulous. Come on and join me in that. Fat is fabulous.
Hey, listen, I know you're picking out, but it's the holiday and everybody eating. And I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that I don't gain any weight.
You're not eating?
I'm eating, but I'm eating right now. I'm eating right.
What are you eating? What are you eating right?
Well, I'm staying away from the white food. Staying away from the bread.
Let's don't make it a
I'm staying away from the sweets. I'm staying away from.
You staying away from sweets?
Sweets. Yeah, I'm staying away from sweets.
Okay.
And
look like you lost a little bit of weight.
I have. I really have lost a little weight, and it was all in the midsection.
You're a little man. Don't lose too much weight.
Yeah. Well,
when I go places, I need to know somebody got my back. You know what I mean? And I know you can scrap, Bishop. I know you can, but I don't want no one to, mistake you. And you have to prove it to them. You understand what I'm saying? So just stay back right where you are. Okay, just keep doing your little walk. You're exercising and everything. I mean, listen, he's getting on all of us now. He done got on this new kick and drinking water and exercising.
Absolutely.
We talk to him on the phone and he's working out. And
absolutely.
I'm proud. I'm really happy.
Hey, yeah, I am too, and I'm feeling better too. Feeling better. And I just want to say to anyone, do a little walking, do a little exercising. I know some of us couch potatoes, we like to sit down and And
you ain't never sat down though.
Well, I have sat down.
You're always on the go.
Well, but when I get home, I'm sitting down.
Is that what it is? When you go home?
I go home, I'm sitting down on the couch and watching football, basketball, or some sports. I'm not really a TV enthusiast.
Yeah.
I don't really like, and the news is so darn depressing.
Yeah.
But we're gonna deal with Straight Talk News in just a few minutes with Cynthia Waters. But we want you to join us, and don't you touch that dial. Cynthia Waters will be here with Straight Talk News, and after Straight Talk News, then we'll have someone from the South Fulton Police Department talk about safety tips. And we'll be right back, Shanan and I. And Shanan, let me see how you know how to use that. He's a killer. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Right after Straight Talk News and this important tips about safety during the holidays.
Oh, hi. Miss C here. Hey, Greg. Hey, Shanan. I've got your Straight Talk News at this time of the year. This is my favorite time of the year. Temple of Prayer Family Worship Cathedral, in conjunction with the Aaron B. Lackey Ministries, will hold their Christmas giveaway. It's a contactless drive-through giveaway, December the 11th from 10 to 2 and December the 12th from 1 to 4. Registration is required. You can go online to www.aaronlackey.org, or you can send an email to admin@templeofprayerchurch.org, or you can call them at 404-500-7234 or 770-742-8913. Again, the number is 404-500-7234 or 770-742-8913. Temple of Prayer Family Worship Cathedral is located at 161 Sonoya Road in Fairburn. MOIA, Men of Intelligence Association, invites you to their 9th annual clothing drive that's going to be held December the 18th from 12 to 4 at the Backstage Nightclub, 2505 Godby Road in College Park. They want you to bring your clothes, canned goods, and toys. For more information, call 678-308-6239. That's 678-308-6239. There's going to be an agricultural Christmas for kids December the 19th, 1 to 3 p.m. in Chattahoochee Hills at the Flying Change Ranch. There's going to be horse rides, livestock interaction, toys, food, and live music. Sounds like a great time for the kids. I would have a good time too. This is sponsored by Trinity Fellowship Ministries. Now you can RSVP by this link only. Now get a pen. Okay, it's tinyurl.com/tinyurl.com/422A7F95. Now let me give that to you again to respond to the Agricultural Christmas for Kids. It's going to be held December the 19th. https://tinyurl.com/422A7F95. All right. The NAACP of Atlanta invites you to their 7th annual holiday toy giveaway December the 18th beginning at noon at New Grant Chapel AME Church, 1319 Holcomb Avenue in East Point. You can get more details by calling 404-524-0580. That's 404-524-0580. Now listen, I'll be happy to announce your event too. Send them to straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. And listen, do us a big favor. On your screen, there's a red button. Now, Greg said the button was red. I never paid any attention. So if it's not red, blame it on Greg. Okay. Now, there's a red button that says subscribe. And we want you to just push that button and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It just shows that you like us. And if you've already subscribed, it'll say that subscribed, if you've already done so. But we would love to have you to do that. And that's going to do it for Straight Talk News. And we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.
I'm with the South Fulton Police Department. The holiday season is a time when criminals have more than normal opportunity to strike. We want you to enjoy your holidays, family and friends, but we also want you to take precaution. Here are some easy tips on what you can do to have a safe holiday season. 1. Don't leave boxes on your curb that let perpetrators know what gifts you have received, like big screen TVs or other big ticket items. Break boxes down or take them to your local dump. 2. As it gets colder, our cars need to warm up longer when first starting them in the morning. Never leave your car unattended while running. Even though you may not see anyone around, you never know who's lurking in the shadows. Never leave your car idling if you're not in it. 3. This one seems obvious, but it happens a lot. Never leave your holiday shopping bags in plain sight in your car. Lock them in your trunk. If you have to continue shopping, move your vehicle to another location in case someone saw you put your packages in the trunk. Then make sure all of the doors are locked. 4. Don't let your cell phone be a distraction. Pay attention to your surroundings at all times. 5. We all know that there's safety in numbers. While shopping or attending events this holiday season, avoid doing it alone. Always check to see if a family member or friend can accompany you. And ladies, use small handbags or fanny packs. Large handbags can be a target. 6. So you finish shopping. You've loaded your car with your purchases. But what you don't see is that someone is watching. Their plan is to follow you home and commit robbery. To avoid this, make sure you check your rear view mirror frequently to see if anyone is tailing you. 7. With all the holiday events and trips to the shopping malls, you will probably need to gas up more than usual. Same safety rules apply during the holidays, but be even more vigilant. Keep your keys with you. Don't be distracted by your cell phone. Don't leave children, pets, or valuables in the car unattended. Lock your doors. Don't leave your car running, and always be aware of your surroundings. Slighter crimes at gas stations is a crime of opportunity. 8. Package delivery theft increases over the holidays. If you're having a package delivered, make arrangements to be at home. Have it delivered where someone can accept the package, or have it held at the station until you can pick it up. 9. When you get to your car, make sure locking the doors is the first thing you do, and do not sit in parked cars for long periods of time. Best practices: get in your car, lock your doors, and immediately proceed to your destination. Speaking of destination, here's our final holiday tip. Don't drink and drive, or we'll be your Uber driver for the night. Be safe and happy holidays.
Well, thank you, Miss C, with your Straight Talk News. Now, listen, if you have news and information that you want Miss C to share, just send it to Straight Talk News 1362 gmail.com, and she'll get it on for you, just like she said she will. But I don't understand. She said, I told her that the button to subscribe to the channel was red. She never seen it.
She never saw the button?
She never paid attention. But we do want you to subscribe to our channel.
Please do subscribe to the channel.
And like us. And one of the things that it'll do too is once you subscribe, it'll send you a reminder that Straight Talk is coming on. And then you just set your reminder to when at the time that it's going to go off, and then it'll come up just like that. Mm-hmm. It'll come up just like that.
Mm-hmm. So please do that.
Yeah,
so that it just pops up and populates, and you know Straight Talk is on. You can let your family and your friends know that the awesome Dewsome is on. Awesome Dewsome. Awesome
Deuce down?
The Dewsome. It's on.
We're talking about deuce and twos. Mm-hmm. You're right. Do you remember when in basketball that if you hit 2 points, you were doing something?
Yeah.
Now the game has moved from 2 points
I feel like I'm at the Harlem Globetrotters now. I'm serious. I mean, the basketball the game is so changed. It's not a big man's game anymore. You got Steph Curry and, these average sized guys, that are, and they hitting these threes, man, half the court. And I mean, we used to have to wait till Curly and them came to town. Better like Lemon and them to see this kind of stuff. But they just
But they hitting threes from everywhere. Little Young for Atlanta.
Trey.
Trey just.
Trey.
Really, the game of basketball has really changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable. I like to watch all of the teams. I like to watch all the teams and watch the players and see how they're shifting players from one team to another team. Like we have Capella now, who's a great center for the Hawks. Center for the Hawks. Mm-hmm. And the Hawks, they really got a good coach, and it's really a good team. Now,
Hawks and the Braves, man. Hawks and the Braves and the Dogs. But the Falcons.
Now you talking about your fans out to get you a cup? I can't believe that. You notice I didn't give you a Matt Ryan cut.
I thank you for that. I thank you for that. I do. You know, because we more dirty than birds right now. We more dirty than birds.
Hey, Shanan, let's skip the subject a little bit and talk about what's going on in the game of politics around here. It's interesting, man. This is, let's talk before we get on local politics. Let's talk about this new thing about the governor's race and Perdue, the cousin of Sonny Perdue, who was the governor. And then now his cousin who won the U.S. Senate seat.
Senate, right.
After we lost Johnny Ison.
Yeah.
Right. So now he's in the seat.
No, not Isaacson.
Who was it?
Isaacson was already in. He took Cleveland's seat.
Who?
Didn't he take Max Cleveland's seat?
No, he didn't take Max seat.
Who did he replace?
I can't recall.
But Isaacson it was Isaacson and Perdue.
But Johnny retired. Mm-hmm. And I thought when he retired that's when memory served me, and I may be correct too. If memory served me,
hold on. You know what? We can Google it. We can Google it. Do you keep talking? I'm gonna Google it.
We can Google it
and put it in here.
But the fact of the matter is, he was elected U.S. Senator. He lost his race.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now he wants to come back and be the governor of the state of Georgia. Mm-hmm. And there's much controversy about his business. At that time, I think he was a part of Family Dollar, Dollar General, and all those stores. Mm-hmm. And now he wants to come back.
Saxby Chamber.
That's right. Saxby Chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Another Republican.
Yeah.
So he now wants to be the governor of the state of Georgia, mm-hmm. and running against Brian Kemp, who no one talked about him being Secretary of State and running the election that he ran for. And I'm really still upset about that no bill was introduced during that whole session last year that would prohibit the Secretary of State to run for office and hold that office as he is running for governor of the state of Georgia.
And continue to manage the very election that he's running in.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Or any election at that time, because Secretary of State manages the election period, right?
The elections for the state.
For the state.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to be there and still be running for office and refuse.
It's very corrupt.
It is.
It's corrupt.
And refuse. And nobody ever did.
But here's the deal. These cats lie right in front of you. I mean, they steal right in front of your face. They come in right in front of you, and right in front of you, and then.
Would you get that back? I saw you.
And then,
will you please get that
back? They want you to see it.
But I saw you. But I'm going to call you on the copy about Tennessee. That ain't no shell game. Put my stuff.
But here's the deal: when we call them on it, they continue to sit there and justify what they've done.
A lot.
Absolutely. So you sit there and say that was an insurrection. That wasn't no insurrection. Those were just tourists. I mean, you're the Secretary of State. You can't manage you're running for office and you're the Secretary of State and you're managing. You can't do that. Absolutely. Yes, I absolutely can.
Yeah, you can.
Right in your
Thank you so very much for giving it back to me, because I was gonna need this. Thank you.
Yeah, you can't go nowhere. You can't do nothing without it.
But as we talk about this race, and then he makes a bold statement and says, because Stacey Abrams has announced that she's gonna run now for governor for a second time, and he says she would not be Secretary of State over his dead body. Over his dead, I said,
she would not be governor.
Governor, right? Well, governor over his dead body. Mm-hmm. Over his dead body. Man, that's a bold statement to make.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the bully. You're not going to do nothing over my dead body. I will die before you are allowed to be the governor. That's what he said. I will die before I allow you to be the governor of the state.
I hear a dog whistle on that.
What's that whistle?
I hear a dog.
What's that whistle?
That ain't no Negro gonna be able to be governor over my dead body. Ain't no black man or woman, gonna be governor. It be over my dead body, which means I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to stop that.
Wow. Wow. You saw that?
We gonna be able to vote. You ain't gonna be able to vote over my dead body. When they get to, that's dog whistle.
Because now we controlling elections too.
Dog whistle. Yeah.
We controlling elections. So you can do what you want to do. They can go out and vote if they want to vote, but we gonna decide who's gonna be it because we control the election.
We control the election process now. Even the first Secretary of State managed it and ran. Now they didn't remove the Secretary of State, and now the legislature is running it. You see what I'm saying when I'm talking about how they still right? You see what I'm saying?
I see. They some rugby risers, ain't they? But they've been rubbish all their life.
But no, let me ask you this. Now, when Trump was when he was fighting to stay afloat as president, he came to Georgia. He kept coming to Georgia. He came to Georgia.
Oh, don't forget now, he said, give me them votes. Find me them votes.
But before he did that, remember now, Purdue was on stage with him, and he completely dissed Purdue. And I thought that Trump's pick, this is what I heard Trump say. I thought that Vernon Jones, you know, the one they passed around.
The surfer.
The surfer they passed him around. You remember?
The surfer.
You remember when they passed him around?
Man, please, don't even talk about it. Because every time they mention Vernon's name.
It's a truth. They passed him around.
I know it every time they mention Vernon's name. That's all that picture is in my mind.
They passed him around.
Was surfing this long, tall black gentleman across all of the sea, this great sea of Caucasian Republican. And they just... Oh, Lord have mercy. But anyway.
Passed him around like it was an inflatable something.
It was inflatable.
Yeah. So I thought that's who Trump was going to support. Nobody even saying nothing about Vernon anymore.
What about Doug Collins?
Well, Doug said that I think he's going back into religion because he's a preacher. And
well, I know some other people said that they were going to not get back in politics because the Lord had said to them not to get back in politics.
You mean like in Fairbanks?
Yeah, and got back in politics.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that local stuff.
That's something else.
Yeah.
But so this is what I'm saying is this about to be real interesting because Trump didn't really have anything for Purdue. And now you got Vernon, and then you got the sitting governor. So you got Florida boy, you got Purdue, and then you got the one in there that transports foreign. What with the truck? He got the truck to do. What was the truck for? To round up.
Yeah, to round up all these people, but don't forget that he's also the man with he was also the man with the gun, the shotgun.
With the shotgun to the son-in-law, the boy.
Yeah, we got all of that. All that going on.
And then you got Stacy.
And then
there's more. And then there's more.
Boy, this stuff is going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting
next year. Because you got midterms, because you got the Senate race, you got the congressional races,
yes,
you got the state house races, for lieutenant governor. And you have Derek Jackson and Renita Shanan is running in the race as Democrat. Yeah. I don't know who's declared on the Republican side.
Bodie's running.
Bodie's running for the Secretary, the State of Labor.
Yeah, John Eves, Secretary of State.
Yeah. I mean, so you got all these people that are running in this race. You got people leaving seats to run for these seats. Then you got the reappropriation. They drew the lines, they're drawing the lines, and they're putting Democrats against Democrats. And
you got Lucy McBath is moving over into the 7th to run against Carolyn Bordeaux.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what they're doing. They're writing these lines to bump off.
She's like, I'm not gonna sit here and let y'all just eat me up. I'm gonna move over here into this race.
Right.
But let me just I know we didn't stay here too long, but I think that all of what you just said. I don't think the momentum was going to be there. I just don't think. This is straight talk.
Straight talk.
I don't think Biden flying in on Air Force One and the Vice President flying in on Air Force Two was going to be enough to be a machine, to be the engine to pull this together. But that Trump machine is formulated. Wall Street Journal this week ran a story about the Democrats and how they are absolutely front page story.
Right.
Wall Street Journal, that the Democrats are in trouble going into the midterms. So, you know, the momentum was not going to be there, and they're predicting that we're going to lose, we're going to lose the House at least. But we knew that in Georgia, Raphael Warnock possibly was in trouble with with running for his seat.
Right.
I think that on the checkerboard of Georgia politics and national politics, I think Stacey running in Georgia is going to bring energy, and I think it checkmates that Trump machine that is severely disturbing the Republican politics around the nation, but specifically in the state of Georgia.
I think this is what I think. Except, and people watching Straight Talk, I want you to see this now, hear it. Except we're vigilant and talking about my vote don't matter and all that other kind of stuff. You know, folks say, I ain't gonna vote because it don't count. I ain't gonna vote because I don't want to do jury duty and all that. There's too much money on the table that's at stake for us not to be interested in what's going on. Because all of this is about money. It's all about taxpayers' money, how they spend their money, our money, and where it's going to be allocated to, right? For those who got those stimulus checks, like that was politics. For those who got the health, the money to pay rent, all that was politics. All of that was politics that made that possible. To take care of people during the time of the pandemic, right? It was politics that made sure that people were vaccinated and that vaccine was created and everything, so people who wanted to be vaccinated could be vaccinated. All of that was politics, and it was money. And somebody's going to make the decision as to how that money is going to be spent and how it's going to come back to our community. I was just looking on the news, and you probably saw it too. Model received over $200-something million for Model to make sure those trains will continue running during this time of the pandemic. And so it's all about money. And so I don't know anybody that don't want to protect their interests with their money, or shouldn't anyway. Make sure that we stay abreast of what's going on, in tune to what's going on. And we're going to tell you right here on Straight Talk. You just got to tune in and share it with your friends and your family. Because it'll be on our Facebook page, it'll be on YouTube. But check it out. Because what we're doing is we're giving information that you probably can get from other sources. But you're getting it right here from Shanan and I. Because we want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. Now, how you vote and who you vote for, that's your decision. That's your decision.
But you can't say we didn't tell you.
You're right. You got that, but you got information. And see, information is powerful.
Right.
Once you got information, then it's powerful. And then you can look into what we're saying. You can Google it. You can look for yourself and find out for yourself, because the information is out there now. All the information that comes through Google and these other resources are not always factual and true. So you have to check your sources too, okay? So, but we're going to move on now to the local, because the local races, as they're doing the reappropriation in terms of drawing the line, they're drawing lines for the school board, they're drawing line for the Fulton County Commissioners, they're drawing line for these races that will be running next year too, because you have a commission race, you have the chair is up, you have Marvin Arrington is up, you have Liz Hausman is up, and I believe that also Lee Marsh, I think he's up too.
Is he?
I think he is. I think he is, because you got because you just had an election where you had
Pitts is up.
Pitts is up. That's what I said. The chair is up.
Yeah, chair's up. Yeah.
But you have those races that up. They may not be up. It may just be Liz and Rob. Marvin, it's got to be one more though. I think it's Lee, but if it's not Lee, don't quote me on that. But I know it's Liz, the chair, and Commissioner Arrington. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting, and then you got the school board races that are up, and an opportunity to get someone to represent us in South Fulton, the South Fulton area, the East Point, especially East Point, College Park, and Hayfield area. We have that opportunity to get that third person.
Is that Dove?
No, that's Dove is further down.
Okay.
It's that area is East Point, College Parks, Hatfield. That now is represented by a portion of it is represented by Gail Dean, who lives in Sandy Spring. And she's been there a while, a good while. I mean, a good while. She's been there, but we need that third representative to come out of our South County portion of it. And when I say South County, we must be clear. South Fulton now is a city,
right?
But South County is
South
College Park, East Point, Hatfield, Fairburn, Union City, and parts of Palmetto. And that in South Fulton, the city of South Fulton. But Chattahoochee Hill, that's all now considered South Fulton County. But South Fulton itself is a city.
The city of South Fulton.
So we're talking about cities now, and we're talking about these city races that were just ran. And you asked me a question off the air last week.
Don't be talking nothing I asked you off the air.
Yeah, you did.
Be careful now.
You did. You asked me this question off the air. We discussed this off the air. In terms of
safe discussion.
Safe discussion.
Okay.
We talked about basically the makeup of city governments in terms of how they govern, in terms of the mayor, and then the mayor and the power that the mayor has, and the power of the council. And we talked about the uniqueness in that because everybody compares mayors in the smaller cities like they do in the big city of Atlanta. And the mayor in Atlanta is actually the chief officer for the city. He or she, they're the administrator there. So they choose the department head, they choose their staff, and so they're not a part of the deliberative body. The mayor in Atlanta is not a part of the deliberative. They don't vote on anything, but they do have veto power. But they don't vote on it. They don't even be at council meetings. The president of the council presides over the meeting, not the mayor. Just like in small cities, the mayor presides over the meeting, right? So someone said, well, and you asked me, what's the difference between and how did I feel about strong mayor?
How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, strong mayor and weak mayor. And I was saying that having been a part of that deliberative body where you have a weak mayor form and strong council form of government is that it works in smaller cities better than it would in the city like Atlanta, where you have, I don't know how many different council people, but there's a large body of council peoples in Atlanta, and as well as the president of the council. But in small cities where you have 7 people that are making decisions for the city, they're making decisions based on public policies, not the day-to-day operation. They hire a city manager who he or she runs a day-to-day operation. He or she hire and fire staff. The council can hire their own staff, right? And they have certain people on staff that they hire, like the city clerk. They hire the city clerk, they hire the city attorney. And they are a part of the process in selecting the fire chief and the police chief with recommendations from the city manager. But in terms of department heads, department heads are hired by the city manager. So because the city manager is charged with the day-to-day operations of the city. So those people report to the city manager and not to the mayor and council. So when people begin to hold the mayor and council responsible for certain things, it's really in the purview of the city manager. They hire the city manager. They can fire the city manager. They have that authority.
So let me ask you this. So, because I asked you the question, you stated the question. Which motto did you like? Weak mayor, strong council, strong council, weak mayor.
Right.
In a larger city, would a strong council, weak mayor work?
I would say.
I don't think it would.
I don't think it would either overall, because you have to have somebody in a larger city
That can make a decision.
that can make a decision without having to go through the deliberative body to make that decision for operational things. Now let's say it's about operational things, right? Because what the council does is they establish the policies that the city manager has to impose and make sure those policies are adhered to. That's his charge, not the council, but the city manager. Where you have in the larger city, the mayor presents his or her budget to the council, and the council approved that budget, and that budget is now in the hand of the mayor to make sure that those funds are allocated like the city manager would be. But I think in a large city, it works better to have a mayor, a strong mayor in terms of that, with only veto power. With only veto power. So that's how I see it. I think it works better in smaller cities because you have a limited number of residents. When you talk about millions of people, and you talk about the council running millions of people, because your ideology and my ideology and your thoughts, it's not going to work.
And things in a larger city have to move at a fast clip.
They do.
And a deliberative clip. So so makes sense. So Andre,
yes,
Dickens is mayor elect of Atlanta. Young man. Mario is there in Fairburn.
What we're going to do is, can we stop and pick up on this on the other side? We'll be back with more on the other side. And the Preacher Man, right here on Straight Talk with Black History Facts with Brother James Broom.
This is civil rights activist and Baptist minister Ralph Abernathy. Ralph David Abernathy was born March 11, 1926, on his family's 500-acre farm in Linden, Alabama. Ralph Abernathy attended Linden Academy, and while there he led his first demonstration, and that was to improve the livelihood of his fellow students. Ralph Abernathy was a platoon sergeant during World War II. Afterwards, he enrolled at Alabama State University, where he was elected president of the Student Council and also led a hunger strike in order to raise the quality of food served on campus. Ralph Abernathy was ordained and preached his first sermon on Mother's Day 1948, and in 1950, Ralph Abernathy became the first African American to host his own radio show in Montgomery, Alabama. Later that fall, he enrolled at Atlanta University to further his education, earning his master's degree in 1951. It was also in 1951 that Ralph Abernathy became senior pastor of the First Baptist Church, the largest African American church in Montgomery. In 1952, Ralph Abernathy married Juanita Jones. Together, they had 5 children, and regretfully, their first child died 2 days after birth. In 1954, Ralph Abernathy met and mentored Martin Luther King Jr. This resulted in the two becoming lifelong friends. In December of 1955, Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white man. Ralph Abernathy, Dr. King, the NAACP, and a host of other pastors and community leaders collaborated to create the Montgomery Improvement Association, which then organized the now famous Montgomery Bus Boycott, which garnered national attention and resulted in the U.S. Supreme Court decision that bus segregation was unconstitutional. Ralph Abernathy's home was bombed not long after that boycott. His family barely escaped with their lives. In February of 1957, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was formed in New Orleans, Louisiana, and on August 8, 1957, held its first convention in Montgomery, Alabama, with Dr. King as president. Ralph Abernathy and Dr. King were both jailed over 17 times together while spearheading the successful SCLC nonviolent movement throughout this country. On April 4th, 1968, while Ralph Abernathy was preparing to come out of their shared room at the Lorraine Hotel, Dr. King was shot while standing just outside on the balcony. After Dr. King's funeral, Ralph Abernathy became president of Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and after completing the march began by Dr. King for the rights of the sanitation workers in Memphis, Ralph Abernathy led the Poor People's Campaign, not only in Washington, D.C., but also led a little-known protest against NASA and its Apollo space program, acknowledging what we can do for space exploration, we demand we do for starving people. In 1973, Ralph Abernathy and the SCLC negotiated a peace settlement at Wounded Knee between the FBI and the American Indian Movement, which was led by Russell Means and Dennis Banks. In 1977, Ralph Abernathy resigned from his role as president of SCLC and ran unsuccessfully for Georgia's 5th congressional district seat, while also founding the nonprofit Foundation for Enterprise Economic Development, which offered managerial and technical training, along with trade opportunities and much more for unemployed, underprivileged African American workers. After a controversial book was published, and after a very controversial endorsement of Ronald Reagan for president in 1980, Ralph Abernathy died April 17, 1990. He was 64 years old. That's Ralph David Abernathy. They forget all about him, but we won't.
It's been Black History Facts with Brother James Broom right here on Straight Talk. Join us each and every Friday from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. with yours truly, Greg Fan, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E.Jones. And do share these Black History Facts with your family and friend, and do tune in to Straight Talk. Won't you? It ain't nothing but straight talk.
Hello. Season's greetings from Earl L. Calloway, Senior Servant, St. Stephen's Missionary Baptist Church, East Point, Georgia. Wishing all of you a happy holiday and reminding you to keep Christ in Christmas, because that's what it's all about. May God bless you, and may you have a safe holiday.
Well, great. Again, another great Black History Fact with Brother James Broom. James always be spot on. Yeah, and that Black History Fact was about the Reverend Ralph David Abernathy. You know, a lot of people, you know, I grew up under Reverend Abernathy. A lot of people, because he wrote the book, a lot of people forgot the things that he went through and the things that he did to help us to get to where we are. You know, because he was a soldier. He was a soldier.
Absolutely.
And then
what you mean when the walls come down?
Right, when the walls come tumbling down. And he talked about, you know, how he, you know, mentored King, you know, early on, and brought King actually into the movement. Yeah. And how he stood right there beside him through everything.
It's tough to be a side. Let me tell you something. It's tough. I know something about.
Why are you saying that?
Side, it's not easy.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
I know you.
That second chair, Doc. I'm telling you, it's not easy. So, you know, I know something about it. See, I don't know if you know something about it. I think he was born a bishop, but I don't.
No, I've been in the second chair.
You've been in the second chair, so you know.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you know.
Nothing prepares you for the first chair.
You really. In order to be a good leader, you must first be a good follower. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that's the reality. Sometimes you have to understand that you're not the leader, you know, and in this. No. You may be the leader in something else, but not in this.
But you make the leader possible.
You make the leader possible.
That's the thing.
You do.
And a good second chair person is always there, making the leader look good.
Always.
And when something is said, this, that, and the other, you never see discord. Any conversation like that happens away from everybody. But when they're together, it's a united front.
That's what it's all about.
That's it. So,
Well, you were about to say something.
yeah, I was actually saying that we've seen this shift of these young or young. I mentioned my mother middle age. She said, "Why are you saying that?" I said, "Mom, I'll be 50 in 3 years." She said, "Well, when you get there, you do that." She said, "You still young." I said, "Okay." So you got these young mayors moving in, and I was saying that you got Andre Dickens in Atlanta. You've got Mario Avery in Fairburn. You've got Khalid Kamal in the city of South Fulton. So, two of these mayors are South County, as you said, and it's just going to be interesting. This is straight talk. So there's already been a lot of murmuring about the decision that was made on November the 30th to remove a couple of the incumbents. I'm going to say let's give it time and let's see what's going to happen. And I'm going to pray for the city of Fairburn. I'm praying for the city of South Fulton and for the city of Atlanta. Some folk like to see sparks fly, but we talked about second chair. Let's talk about first chair, because it's a lot different. And you don't know, nobody knows first chair till you're in it, right?
Right.
So all of these three, except with the exception of Mario, who has been mayor before, Andre Dickens has been Councilman Dickens. He will now understand what it means, but it's heavy as the head that wears the crown. Heavy is the weight of everything when you're in that first chair. Khalid Kamal has moved around South Fulton. He's been known as Councilman Khalid. He will now be mayor, and even in the system of a city manager system, he's still in a first chair in terms of representing the city of South Fulton. And I'm wanting to see how that transition happens for him and how it happens for us. And I'm hoping the best in all of these cases, hoping the best. And I don't want to see sparks fly. I want to see progress come, because our people live in these cities, and we've caught enough hell. So we want to see things move forward.
Well, thank you so much for your analysis of the paralysis. A great analysis. You
just wanted
a great analysis. A great analysis. But I want to just say this here. You're tuned to Straight Talk with your truly great fan, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E.Jones. And guess what? We're going to be back next week with the same thing, more and more straight talk right here. And you listen, subscribe to our channel, subscribe, and share it with your YouTube family and Facebook family. And if you have a topic that you want Shanan and I to talk about, if you want to be a guest, all you got to do is just call me at 404-308-0795 or email me at fan922@comcast.net. If you have church news or any kind of news or information that you want to share, listen, send it to Straight Talk News 1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalknews@gmail.com. Until next week, well, you be safe. You have a safe holiday. Take on the tips that was given to you. Don't drink and don't drive. Look out for those people that are lurking in the malls, that are looking at you to be a victim. Take care when you're pumping gas, ladies and men, when you're pumping gas.
And don't do it at night.
And don't do it at night. Don't do it at night. Well, you just can't do it in the daytime. Let's know talking about at night. But anyway, you have a great one. God bless you. And you've been in tune to nothing but what?
Straight Talk.
Gamage, your Fulton County Solicitor General.
And I'm Captain Nikki Renfro of the Georgia State Patrol.
Every 51 minutes, someone is killed in an alcohol-related accident.
This holiday, officers will be out looking for unsafe drivers. If you are buzzed, drunk, or impaired, don't drive. Call someone for a ride or we'll be forced to give you one.
Once you're charged with DUI, you can face jail time, license suspension, and a conviction on your criminal record. So this holiday, have fun. Make it a night to remember, not a night to regret.
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fan at SHANN922 at Comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Penn, the Preacher Man.